The Dayton City Commission meeting will now come to order. Please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. This evening, the invocation will be given by Commissioner Turner-Sloss.
Mayor, did you want to give recognition or a moment of silence?
I'll wait till you finish.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Heavenly Father, we come to you and we lift up the city of Los Angeles. We ask that you bless every corner of the city with your grace, your peace, and your mercy. We ask these things upon you, Father God. We ask that you just touch all those who are experiencing, who are unhoused and homeless, Father God. Just touch them and let their neighbors, friends, family members open doors for them. Lord, we come to you and we just ask that you guide us and keep us, bless us with the wisdom, discernment, understanding, and integrity to continue to do your will as this legislative body. We look to you and we thank you for your mercy and your grace. In your holy name, amen.
Okay. Before we do the Pledge of Allegiance, I'd like to have a moment of silence, please, for Harold Lefty Martin. He had a 60-year career in coaching track and field with young people in the Dayton area. Also a coach with the United States Olympic team as well. Additionally, he had started the Northwest Track Club, where he had moved on with more than 300 young people to athletic scholarships, including his daughter, who was a 1992 silver medalist with the United States in terms of the Olympics. So again, thank you. Okay, thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Ms. Blackshear, may we have the roll call, please?
Mayor Mims.
Aye.
Commissioner Shaw.
Aye.
Fairchild.
Aye.
Turner-Sloss.
Aye.
Okay. May I have a motion then to excuse Commissioner Joseph from this evening's meeting?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to excuse Commissioner Joseph from this evening's meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Okay, thank you. May I have a motion then to approve the minutes from the January 8th, 2025 meeting?
So moved, Your Honor. Second, Your Honor.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the from the January 8th meeting, 2025. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Okay. So do we have any communications or petitions, Ms. Blackshear?
There are none, Your Honor.
None. So this being a special month for mentoring, I'd like to have a proclamation read from Ms. Blackshear, noting that fact.
Whereas Big Brothers Big Sisters of Miami Valley is part of a national network that has been creating life-changing mentoring relationships since 1904, making a profound impact on the community by fostering aspirations, building confidence, encouraging healthy behaviors, and promoting educational success. And whereas January has been designated as National Mentoring Month to raise awareness of the importance of mentoring to encourage more citizens to become mentors. And whereas the City of Dayton recognizes the significant impact that mentoring has on lives of young people, leading to improved academic performance, increased self-esteem, and better decision-making skills. And now, therefore, I, Jeffrey J. Mims, Jr., Mayor of the City of Dayton, do hereby proclaim January 2025 as National Mentoring Month in the City of Dayton.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. So, Ms. Blackshear, do we have any additions, deletions, or comments to the calendar?
I have none, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Dickstein, any deletions or additions or comments to the calendar?
Your Honor, I have no additions or deletions to this evening's calendar. I have one very brief highlight for the calendar, which is item number 3, which is a contract a consultant service agreement with Turnkey Environmental Consultants for $100,000 that will continue to support the demolition pipeline with residential asbestos survey and post-abatement verification. Super important for us to continue to do the great work of taking down those nearly 1,100 structures.
Okay.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Blackshear, are there any citizens who are registered to speak on the city manager's recommendations?
None on the calendar items, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, commissioners, comments, questions on the city manager's recommendations?
I have none, Your Honor.
Have none? Commissioner Fairchild?
Nope.
I'm good.
Okay. Then may I have a motion then to approve the city manager's recommendations?
I move that we approve the city manager's recommendation.
And I'll second that.
Okay, it's been probably moved and seconded to approve the city manager's recommendations. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Okay, legislation, please, Ms. Blackshear.
A first reading ordinance number 32138-25 to vacate the alley east of the Dayton Kettering connector from the north property line of parcel R72-13903-0015. That is all, Your Honor.
Okay. So, do we have any citizens who are registered to speak?
Your Honor, there are 6 citizens who have registered to speak. I would like to state that there is a 3-minute time limit. As you address the commission, we ask that you state your name and address for the record. At that time, I will turn on the green light. When the green light comes on, you will have 3 minutes to speak. After you have spoken 2.5 minutes, a yellow light will come on. You will have 30 seconds remaining to speak. When the red light comes on, you will be asked to cease your comments and to take your seat. To the audience in attendance, please be mindful this is a business meeting, and we kindly request that during this portion of the meeting, you refrain from any hand clapping, finger snapping, and conversations that will prevent the City Commission from hearing the speaker's comments. I call to the podium David Woods.
David Woods, 3230 Lakeview Avenue.
Evening.
Hello there, Mayor, City Council. Basically, I'm saying that I want the mayor and y'all to make the city pay me $15 million. The reason why is this. I want $2 million to go to St. Luke Church, $2 million to go to Civil Rights Commission that's investigating Kettering Hospital for killing my dad because he's black and they got evidence that the police lied. $2 million to Kirk Klein-Smith, my lawyers, are doing a medical malpractice suit. $2 million to DAT because my dad preached on there. And then $2 million to the Dayton City Commission, y'all, for taking down Kettering Hospital and lying crooked cops. The reason I said that is, too, because the first caller that called was Dayton Police. And then when I got trespassed, Dayton Police did correct Kettering Hospital and said I didn't make a threat to his because Chief Police said that he never did tell him that. So I hold them responsible, and I went to the mayor of Kettering, and I complained to her about it, too. And I'm going to tell her, too, that I want Al Sharpman to be the CEO of Kettering Hospital, and I want Farrakhan to be the second vice president for the fact that I proved there's racism in that hospital, for one. And two, I'm at the chief of police at Inglewood, which I'm going to go there, too. I already complained about him to the mayor about him not being a man to stand up to me and face me as a man in a city commission meeting. Because he the one that said that he never did tell my man a threat, but he didn't want to tell the mayor. He didn't want to talk to the mayor about that. So I guess my lawyer's gonna have to subpoena the mayor of Inglewood and all of them because this bull crap he's doing. So basically, that's basically all I got to say today. I'm gonna talk more about it more. But also the mayor, I think what's her name? Melinda Brooks. She go to my church. She said she went to school with you. And she said, oh, the mayor, I knew he was going to be somebody very important because he speak real proper. And so I just want to let you know that she had high things about you. You know her? You remember her?
I think she was in my 6th grade English class.
Well, she spoke very high. Just to let you know.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Woods.
Oh, yeah, I forgot one thing. Sorry. I got the letter showing out the power attorney and medical of my dad. And they, by them killing him, not let me know that was illegal.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Woods.
Vanessa Chin. Name and address for the record.
My name is Vanessa Chin, address is 3843 Addison Avenue.
You may begin.
Okay. Evening.
Okay, so I got a bunch of random stuff to complain about, but I want to start with that. I don't think it's right for us to not be secure in our Fourth Amendment just to come address you guys. It's crazy. I filled out a piece of paper that has my address on it. Why do I need to announce it for YouTube to know where I live? What if someone doesn't like what I got to say? Now they have my address. So definitely think you guys need to do away with that. You have it on paper. We really don't need to speak it. Some of random things. I don't know what's up with the construction on Main Street. Like leaving down here, going to Inglewood. Why is it a one-way? It's like 5 o'clock highway traffic on Main Street now. It's crazy. Like, I don't know whose idea was it. It's really horrible. We don't like it. The speed bumps on Gettysburg. You don't even get to the speed limit before you're already stopping to slow down. Like, at least space them further apart so that the speed bumps make sense. I get it. We get people that do stupid stuff, drag race, all of that. Just be mindful for the people that don't do that type of stuff. You know, it's costing us more gas every time we have to stop and accelerate just because we're at that speed bump before we've even gotten to where we need to get. I'm not sure why it is that for us to rent spaces in Dayton is so expensive. Like the Island Metro Park from April 1st to October, like 31st, I think, it's $121 to $152 just to rent a canopy. But all the other little cities around us is half that price. Vandalia, I mean, even if you go to the website and you select them, Vandalia one, the Kettering one, all of them half that price for the same time range. You know, what's up with our $175,000 for this non-violence thing? I haven't heard anything else about it. You know, how about give us something in Dayton? We don't have no skating parks, no bowling places. There's nothing for us parents to do with our kids. If we want to do something, we got to go to Huber Heights, Kettering, we got to go far. Everything's been taken away, you know. So I just feel like if we're going to invest in like violence, give us something to do. We don't have nothing to do with our youth. They're doing whatever and they're going to keep doing it. I didn't think I was going to have still time left. Our Ohio dog law is crazy too. Like, make people be accountable for their actions. To say as a dog owner, he's registered, he has tags, he's on my renter's insurance, that no matter what happens, if he bites somebody, I'm responsible. Let us take it to court. Let me fight out what happened. As parents, they need to be responsible for the kids. You got to talk to your kids and let them know, hey, don't mess with people's dogs. So I'm responsible for other people's actions. I don't think that's how it should be.
Okay, thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chen.
Valerie Duncan.
Hello, Your Honor, and City Commissioners, Clerk of Courts, and
Okay,
City
get closer to the mic.
City Manager. Yeah, my name's Valerie Duncan. I live at 523 Hayden Avenue, and I don't have a 3-minute speech. I was looking at I had to fill out this paper before I saw the agenda, but I do have a few comments on street maintenance as far as the snow removal. I know there was a lot of snow, 8 inches in some places, but there's still a lot of snow on the city streets along the curbs. There's people that use the curb to park, and so now it's making an inconvenience because they're just trying to cram all their cars, either on the driveways which they have, or just off the street. So I don't know if that can be looked into, but there are some streets where they don't go all the way down, all the way to the curb to remove the snow. Now, another thing, I know that the homeless, we do have some shelters during the day. Some rec centers have extended their hours. I know that, it's really cold out there, and next week it's even going to be colder. Just to look into the possibility for the sheriff's office and the police district offices to maybe make available for the homeless to come in there, since that's a 24-hour, 24-hour, 7-day a week. It's just a suggestion, but I know we have to kind of think beyond the box to try to help our homeless, that are having difficulty, finding shelter. For the men, it's on Gettysburg, and sometimes, if they don't get transportation out there, and some of them don't even want to go out there because then it's too far away to then go back to where they stay during the day. So that's all the comments I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Kimaru Watenza.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kimaru Watenza. I live at 1200 West Grand Avenue, Dayton, Ohio, 45402. And I had other comments, but since this is January 15th, and in 1929, Martin Luther King Jr. was born on this day. He was assassinated on April 4th, 1968, and the federal government lied about his death. James Earl Ray was convinced to plead guilty to the death of the shooting of Martin Luther King Jr. However, Martin Luther King Jr. was killed in a conspiracy led by the United States federal government and one Lloyd Jowers. James Earl Ray was denied the opportunity for a trial after he asked for one, but Lloyd Jowers had a trial. And most people don't know about this, but his trial was held in 1999. It was a civil trial in Memphis, Tennessee, and he was found responsible or guilty of for the death of Martin Luther King Jr., along with the federal government and others, among them Jesse Jackson, Reverend Ralph David Abernathy, and Reverend Billy Kyle. All of this information is documented in the lawyer who represented the King family in that civil trial in 1999. His name is Dr. William Peppers, and as the attorney in that trial where Lloyd Jowers and the U.S. government was found guilty of conspiracy for the death of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That trial ended, and the Justice Department still failed to even try to prosecute the rightful killers of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. As a retired Dayton public school teacher, I thought that it was necessary that this information be brought before this commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Watenza.
Thank you for your comments.
Alexandra Williams.
Evening.
Alexandra Williams, 2125 East Whip. There's a couple things I want to talk about today, but most importantly, I wanted to talk about last night and how cold it was. And I'm really tired of having to come here often to, please beg you to think of other people other than yourselves, even when you're outside of these walls. Because, we called, we emailed, we texted everyone we could. It got to, 1 degree last night. The shelters should have been made available 24/7 for our unhoused community. And I just wanted to affirm that we love the homeless and the unhoused, and we care, especially because we see ourselves reflected in the homeless community, and we know how the policy enacted here by your city manager, how that directly impacts us. And so if y'all don't care, I just want you to know that we do. And I hope that next week there will be a difference in how things are handled. Secondly, I wanted to also reaffirm the commitment to divest from Israel. I know there was an informal resolution that's been talked about to divest, or to adopt a no business with genocide stance. Any partnership with Israeli companies is partnerships with genocidal companies off the fact that they're Israeli. And a ceasefire is a perfect time for us to make a statement and also divest and not allow Dayton dollars and all the suburbs around here, all our dollars, to be used to replenish the needs of a occupation that drained all of us. I hope that we do not continue making the choices that City Manager Shelley is making in the interest of her friends and family in Israel. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Kevin Keller.
Hello, my name's Kevin Keller, 3922 East 3rd Street, Dayton, Ohio, 45403.
Good evening.
Good evening, Commissioners, Mayor, Commissioners, and audience. I have 4 things I'd like to share with the Commission and the audience. I haven't been here in a few weeks, so I'd like to catch up. The speed on East 3rd is getting ridiculous, even during bad weather. When we were out shoveling out our intersection because it took so long for the city to get to our street. Actually, they did it just day before yesterday was the first time it got snowed or plowed since the snowfall. But people are coming down that hill from Smithville to bottom of the hill, which is around Garland, up to 20, 30 miles an hour over the speed limit, whether it's snow there or not. And they're going to kill somebody. There's been 8 wrecks in my viewing area from, I'd say, Cherrywood all the way down to Wright Ave. And that's a 3-block area, about, I'd say about 400, 500 feet of area where it's going from 2 lanes to 1, and they're competing, or 1 lane to 2. And cars are passing each other on that solid line just to get ahead. And I have video, actually 2 videos of 2 wrecks that happened during that time. And one ended up on my front lawn about 10 feet from my house. Lady tried to make the turn from East 3rd down the hill to Quinton and missed. And she drove up my hill 10 feet from my house. Luckily, I've got a hill. We got to do something about the speed in the East 3rd Street. I thought about maybe some kind of barrier or at least a speed camera. We seem to be pretty zealous early on about those cameras. They were everywhere, and now we're having a hard time seeing them. But I think a speed camera would help. The second thing I'd like to share is the snow removal did take some while for surface streets, and I hope we can change that. US 35 from 75 through East 3rd Street and then up to 49 is 3 lanes. I find it really hard how we're able to support that stretch of 35 that's 3 lanes and rarely has 3 lanes of traffic on it. And I hope there's some way we can encourage business / some type of recreation or business or both activity there, because otherwise it's just, and those 3 lanes are there, we got to maintain them. Parks in Dayton. We do have parks in Dayton. I just know the one, Washington Park, they recently put new playground up there, and it's not in good shape because it's already been vandalized. We got to find a way to take care of our taxpayer-funded institutions like restrooms and parks. Be better. It'd really be great. And also my sculptures, if you guys want to, if you're ever interested, I'm wanting to make a proposal about having a sculpture downtown because Gem City, Dayton is the Gem City. My idea is to put these around in iconic locations. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Keller.
Thank you for your comments.
That is all, Your Honor.
Okay. So, 16, have any closing comments?
Yes, Your Honor, I do have a closing comment. I wanted to remind folks about our cold weather emergency response plan that was adopted by our emergency respondent team that is also in conjunction with, it's a city and also the regional team, right, that
Right.
put together these emergency response plans. But as indicated in our press release on Monday, we have activated our cold weather response plan. We are sitting in the Tier 1 status right now. Tier 1 is encouraging citizens needing assistance to seek shelter with friends and relatives. Our City of Dayton rec centers are available as warming shelters during the day, and we have our women and men's shelters that are available as well for our homeless individuals. And that the shelter capacity is well below the top, as it normally is in the winter. In the winter, we have a lot of family and friends that, take in their relatives who are living on the streets. So our shelters often are, way under their capacity. And so housing and our emergency response team monitors this along with the other regional partners. And the Women and Children's Shelter has a capacity of 358, and they had less than 199 people that were in it the last week. And the Gettysburg Men's Shelter has capacity to house 422 individuals, and they had 250 people. So there is absolute space and capacity in the shelters at night, and then the city opens our rec centers for warming centers, the 3 that we have during the day. Obviously, Tier 3 involves when we have power outages, when there are significant disruptions, sometimes the power outages, sometimes it's water breaks, and so there's a disruption to the environment. Then we look at, along with extreme cold below 10 degrees, then we look, and if there isn't shelter capacity, then we start looking at staffing and opening up space for nighttime warming. So I just wanted to kind of briefly go over that, remind the community that our emergency response team is actively monitoring this, and will continue to look out for our most vulnerable residents, as we do every time this time, in these kinds of conditions.
Yeah, I know those policies have been in place, for years, and thank you for updating us and reminding us of those things that are happening. Okay, Ms. Blackshear, do you have any closing comments?
Just want to remind everyone that city offices will be closed on Monday for the Martin Luther King holiday.
Okay. All right, Commissioners, closing comments. Commissioner Turner-Sloss?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Ms. Dixteen, very much for highlighting the emergency response unit that we have available for our area, for the region, to your point, in regards to inclement weather during this time. And Ms. Williams, thank you very much for your comments and your advocacy. You're exactly right. That's one thing that I've definitely been thinking about through this winter, is that our unhoused population, and making sure that we have the operations set up and the support services available. Ms. Dixine, I'll lean to you to ask, we cannot force anyone to go into a shelter. How does that come into play as we start to move to those various tiers? Is there anything, or what is the protocol, or how does that come into play in terms of the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, DPD, if we are in those dire situations in terms of the weather?
Well, you're absolutely right, Commissioner. Neither the police nor the sheriff, they can force no one to go anywhere. We have a team of outreach folks that we pay for through our homeless shelter funding, that are doing outreach and building relationships. And so it's hopeful that they have more influence to get people into a safer space during this weather. And there is much higher compliance in the winter, again, around our homeless and unhoused. And again, like I say, this is the time of year where family members take their family members back in because of the dire situations. So the numbers, definitely go down with regards to our homeless on our outside.
Thank you, Ms. Dickstein. And just a couple weeks ago, I think it was the week before last, if I have my weeks correct, we just approved an Operation Charlie, to your point. Those are some of the initiatives and the outreach services that we are supporting to make sure that we deploy a number of those services to our unhoused population. So again, thank you, Ms. Williams. Note that, as mentioned, it was noted on the various social media outlets. I know myself and my colleagues, we inquired about that as well. To your point, next week is going to be frigid. Today, for DPS, they made a decision to issue a remote learning. I was not necessarily pleased with that, but nonetheless, I understand the severity of what we're dealing with the frigid temperatures, so thank you. I have a couple comments, just bear with me, please. Mr. Watenza, thank you. Thank you very much for highlighting the civil trial in 1999. I really appreciate your comments. Thank you very much for being here. Ms. Duncan, thank you for your comments as well as it relates to street parking during the inclement weather as we're going through, as our plows are going through the residential streets. I don't know if there is an answer to that mechanism. That is definitely out of my purview, but we will lean to the city manager as well as to our public works directors and deputy directors to identify if there is in fact a solution, because you're right, a number of people were trapped in. They had the inability to remove their vehicles from the snowplows coming through the residential areas. Hopefully we won't see any more snow, knowing that the temperatures in fact will drop. We do have a couple of warm days coming our way, so hopefully some of that will be able to will melt. Fingers crossed, right? So again, thank you for bringing that to our attention. Ms. Chen, you raised a number of concerns. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Your concerns were very valid. I appreciate you for being here. I'm curious with the rates from 5 Metro Parks, and then again, we can talk offline, but you mentioned that the rates are higher, understanding in the city of Dayton. So I don't know if it's due to a frequent usage or if it's just a matter of maintenance and cleaning and preparation that goes along, because our metro parks are heavily used in that area, especially when, to your point, Island Park is very highly used. So that's something that we definitely can have a conversation on, and I'm curious to finding out that answer myself. So thank you for raising that and bringing that to our attention. The speed cushions, they are temporary on Gettysburg. That is with the hopes of, and I believe a couple weeks ago, if not at the end of the last year, 2024, we just approved the contract for some continual street renovations, if you will, or construction to take place on Gettysburg. So again, that is something that we are moving and pressing forward, but understand that those speed cushions are temporary, because you raised the valid point in regards to some of the illicit behavior, some of the illegal behavior that we were seeing on our major corridors. So those are some temporary solutions that we did put in place, but understand that there are long-term goals and solutions that we are now actively working towards. Again, it takes funding, but we are rolling up our sleeves and doing the necessary work. Main Street, great, valid point. I don't have the answer to that. Hopefully I can get back with you on that to understand that there is renovations that are taking or construction taking place on Main Street, and it's to make it more walkable so that we can address the issues, a calming more stream, if you will, a calming digestive system, if you will, that we have in place for the traffic on North Main Street. And Ms. Dixon will have to remind me, I don't know if the one lane is a permanent solution or if that is in fact temporary, but again, we can follow up with you on that. In regards to the recreation activities that we have and centers that we have available. So this Friday at 6 p.m., we will have the grand opening, or the opening of ribbon cutting, if you will, the ribbon cutting for the Teen Center at the Northwest Recreation Center, 1600 Princeton Avenue. So I invite you and your teenagers, if you have any, to come on down to the Recreation Center for the new Teen Center. I'm very excited about it. Fortunately, it was supposed to take place last Friday, but due to the inclement weather, it was postponed for this Friday. So that is the 17th of January. We are still, from my understanding, and I won't press too hard on this. I know the mayor will probably speak to this as well in terms of the violence interruption. From my understanding, we are now in the phase where we are, a number of assessments are being taken to gather all of the data, to look at the various outlets. We're also, hopefully, Mr. Beckman, we will have that conversation here soon with the city of Toledo so that we can adopt some of the best practices from the city of Toledo, but we're actively moving on that. There is a peace coalition, if you will, and again, I know the mayor would speak to that and some of the work that is being done to answer your question in terms of the violence that we're seeing amongst our youth. But there are a number of programs in place from the recreation centers, from Montgomery County Youth Works, the Victory Project, the Youth Malcolm Keith Organization, Young Life Ministries. There are a number of organizations, the Boys and Girls Club, as you heard, this is Mentoring Month, so, and we cannot fail to mention Big Brothers, Big Sisters. There are a number of outlets for our youth to engage in, but again, it takes people such as yourself, the rest of the community, to make sure that we're educating our youth as well as the community that there are these various programming and outlets and services that are available. So thank you, Ms. Chen. In terms of the enforcement of dogs, this is something that we've been working very closely with the Animal Resource Center as well as our police department, DPD, and having conversations with Montgomery County. And to your point, we know that once spring happens, we have an issue with stray dogs, as well as the groundhogs. So we are actively trying to make sure that we are addressing those issues with, to your point, again, the issues of license and all of the permits and the insurance that goes along with that. So that's something that we're monitoring very closely. Mr. Keller, thank you for your comments. I know at one point we talked about the mobile speed camera on East 3rd Street. I don't know where we are on that, understanding that it is mobile, so it's moving around the city quite often, so that's something that we can definitely revisit. I mean, I don't know if there are plans in the future for some speed cushions to help slow down that traffic, but thank you again, and thank you for your creativity and your ideal of creating the Gem City sculptures. So hopefully we'll be able to, oh, very nice. Hopefully we'll be able to push you in the right direction so that you can have those conversations with some other partnering organizations to make that come into fruition. Mr. Woods continued, I would encourage you, rather, to continue on your path with seeking your counsel for advice as you move through your malpractice suit. So again, thank you for being here and for raising your concerns. And a couple more announcements. So last Friday, I think it was last Friday. Was it last Friday? Days again. The EITC, the VITA Free Tax Preparation Program, there was a kickoff. Thank you to the staff and, of course, our partnership with Key Bank. A number of our commission staff members, they were present, as well as Adamo with the Community Engagement Division, who is spearheading that initiative. They're providing free tax preparation for individuals and families with income less than 68 or 69,000 a year?
67.
67, very good. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Jackson. And it will kick off on Saturday, January 25th. There are a number of sites, I believe 8 to 9 sites that are available. So again, we encourage everyone to make sure that they tap into the free tax preparation programming. And again, this weekend is very full of a number of events in memory of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And again, Mr. Watenza. your comments. They were right on point. The Memorial March for Dr. Martin Luther King will be held 10 a.m. Until noon on January 20th. Attendees, will walk from 1323 West 3rd Street to St. Clair Community College, Building 12. That's located at 444 West 3rd Street, and the celebration banquet will begin at 6 p.m. at the Dayton Arcade, 35 West 4th Street. There is a cover charge for that. And then also, and again, thank you, Ms. McClendon, for providing these various highlights. So again, thank you for your work on that and your diligence. Homeowners who do not agree with the value of their properties, you have until March 31st to file an appeal with Montgomery County Board of Revisions to lower their property taxes. The value of your tax bills for the second half for 2024, which are due later this year, and the appeals can be filed online, and a hearing will be scheduled where a homeowner can make the case to change the value of their property. So we encourage those who do not agree with the value of their home value. They have until March 31st to make an appeal. And that is all I have. Thank you very much.
Okay. Covered a lot for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Fairchild.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner, for covering all of that, and thank you to the citizens who've come out on a cold day to participate in your city's government, so thank you. I just want to say I'm looking forward to the MLK event, so I'm questioning going out, and we were just looking at the forecast for 9 degrees, so that will be a very cold March.
It's going to be cold earlier.
Yeah. That's the high for the whole day, right? Yeah. Also, there's the Interfaith Prayer Breakfast on Friday morning.
Oh, thank you.
And on Saturday afternoon, the Neon will be showing the 6888. So if you haven't seen the 6888, you can see it at the Neon Theater. And I'm looking forward in the evening to welcoming back Rod Kennedy, the former pastor of First Baptist Church, who will be the keynote speaker at the banquet. So invite everyone to come out and observe the King holiday, and to be reminded not only of his dream, but our American ideals, as it will also be the inauguration. And it'll be a great day to recommit ourselves to democracy, freedom, and this experiment of self-governance. And I just want to, I appreciate the concerns that we've lifted up for our unhoused, persons who are unhoused, particularly in the spirit of King. If we can look out for our neighbors, it's with the cold, again, remind you that you are a first responder for your neighbor. And if you can check on your neighbors, make sure they're safe and warm and have the food and water that they need, it would help our community be good neighbors. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Shaw.
Thank you. Well, excited to share that the City of Dayton received a Department of Transportation Reconnecting Communities grant for the Revive 35 planning project. So really excited, and thank you, Ms. Dixon, to you and your staff for going after these projects that my Transportation and Infrastructure Committee advocates for regularly. And I am aware that Dayton receives a lot of these grants, and it's due to the hard work of staff and the city manager. So thank you for that. And just wanted to remind everyone that Friday is the last day to turn in your application for the AFL-CIO Building Trades Apprenticeship Program. So I hope everybody takes advantage of that.
Thank you. First, I want to congratulate Drs. Goodwine and Bailey, Cassandra Goodwine and also Dr. William Bailey, as being elected to the Dayton School Board as president and vice president. We look forward to working with them as well. Additionally, I want to mention that the challenging situation that we have relative to safety and minimizing the loss of lives that we experience in the city of Dayton caused us to put the speed bumps in on Gettysburg. And the reason why the speed bumps are spaced the way they are is to minimize the opportunity for individuals to get at a high rate of speed before they get to the next speed bump. So they're designed that way. And those speed bumps were requested by members of the community and their organization. Additionally, the design of North Main Street also minimizing some of the loss of lives that we had in that space as well. And that, again, was requested by members of the community, and designs were made in response to that by the city of Dayton. The aspect of the march, I just wanted to add just a little bit, just clarification. The Drew Health Center would be that location. It's been the same location for, I don't know, maybe a decade or two. Prior to that, it was at the Westtown Shopping Center. This march this year will lead us from that space at Drew Health Center just to the bridge, as was mentioned, and then from there are two different things that will be happening at that space at the Dakota Street Center, working with young people in terms of conflict resolution and speaking and listening to them, as well as the showing of the 6888, which will happen again at the Neon Center. So I think that's it. I think we've covered a lot of information, and hopefully you can participate in the march, and hopefully you will dress warm. As was mentioned again by Commissioner Fairchild, the weather will not be our friend. So with no further business to take place in this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, and all be safe and be warm.